Massive thanks to our friends over at Game.Press for providing us a copy of this game for review purposes. Thanks, gang. Hello, this is Tim from the Game Club Pod, back with a short episode of DLC, this time on Shooty Robot Invasion. The game came out on July 10th, 2025, so only a couple of months ago at the time of recording. Developed and published by Bubby Darkstar. This game, at the time of the episode's release, is currently 30% off on Steam, so if you're interested in checking it out on a discount, go for it. Largely fun, this game. I didn't know what I was getting into going into this, and it was nice to see a message up front when you boot up the game saying that there was no generative AI used when making this game, which is very clear from the hand-drawn art style. The plot of Shooty Robot Invasion involves you playing as a girl soldier called Shooty, living in the state of Califlorida as robots begin their invasion of Califlorida, complete with a news anchor appropriately asking, how the fuck did no one see this coming? Explore areas, help people, do parkour, all while fighting off sarcastic robots that are just as cynical and jaded as the humans of Califlorida. Gameplay seems to be inspired by classic Doom and tasks the player with traversing objects, buildings, and memorizing enemy attack patterns. Charming is probably the best way I could think to describe this game's direction. It's if Doom was made by Newgrounds era flash animating nihilists. While this game does offer ultra-wide support, this game to me has one glaring issue which is inexcusable in 2025 in my opinion, and that is the lack of an FOV slider. For the first time since I launched myself on a projectile in Boneworks, a VR title, I felt motion sickness playing this. I can appreciate that the hand-drawn world and assets probably make a functioning FOV slider quite difficult, and it might not even be a problem on ultra-wide screens. But I couldn't play this for more than 30 minutes at a time without needing to take a 5-minute break each time, because I felt nauseous from just moving around. Some of the tasks are great. Some of them, for example, have you picking up a metal detector and going scouring for coins that you need to pay off your friend's college tuition debt with. Or, for example, using that metal detector to find the core of a boss fight on a beach, because he doesn't like the sound of the metal detector. Or you may be delivering a letter to someone called Jay that you have no idea what they look like. So you end up going round the houses to ask if Jay is there or what Jay looks like, gathering clues as you go, only for Jay to turn up at the house of the person you collected the letter from. Bit of a roundabout goose chase there. There's NPCs that you can interact with that have really non-consequential dialogue. So, for example, I had a NPC that just said, "Hi, my name's Jake," to which my character responded, "I don't give a shit, Jake." This is what I mean by that Newgrounds era nihilism. It's jaded, it's cynical, and that's great. It was almost refreshing to see that in a new release. In my limited playtime with the game, because again, motion sickness, I experienced a couple of different types of guns. I experienced the handgun and the Uzi, which is just an outright upgrade to the handgun because you don't need to reload or let go of fire. I experienced the fun parkour mechanics, which involved multiple air dashes, double jumps, punching buildings. I got to experience fighting a variety of robots, albeit not the biggest variety in the first level, but it's a first level. I'm willing to let it off. I also got to play volleyball with a definitely not robot volleyball player. I never beat that objective, it's too difficult. It doesn't work in a first person perspective in my opinion. I got to attend a child's birthday party on a pier and compete in boardwalk games for a ticket to try and win a sentient possessed doll, which I'm pretty sure had a robot in it. Now, this was actually the fight that I ended up stopping my playthrough in. Not because it was too difficult, the fight itself isn't too bad, just hit the thing with a hammer over and over again. But the problem is, the motion sickness, tied in with constantly moving enemies as well as projectiles, having to look up and down and all around to the side to track one enemy in a sea of projectiles. It doesn't work for me without that FOV. On top of that as well, one small issue, and this could be because I'm sure you can hear I'm a little bit sick in my voice. When you start dialogue conversations with NPCs in this game, if you stand too close, it looks like they're bobbing up and down on you, and the idea is they're supposed to be just moving around, and unfortunately, it does look like they're just zooming in and out of the character, which isn't a great look. Would I recommend shooty robot invasion based on this tiny review? Yeah, probably. I wouldn't recommend it on an ultra-wide and maybe suggest playing it on like a regular TV or a Steam Deck or something. But yeah, it's fun. It's neat. It's got personality, and that's what I want in a 2025 shooter. This has been Tim, at Wembembo and everything, and I'll see you next time.